Breaking news. The Rams have lost their Super Bowl winning defensive coordinator. Raheem Morris is headed to Atlanta to be the new head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. We're breaking it down, everything it means for the Rams. Who do we want to see be the next defensive coordinator? All that more coming up next on this emergency episode of Locked On Rams.
You are Locked On Rams, your daily Los Angeles Rams podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, Ramily? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DBack_LA. And I've got Travis Rogers, the People's Champ, right here. We're just going to get right into it because we got some breaking news. Did a show earlier. You guys are getting a double episode because big news. Raheem Morris has finally gotten that second chance to be a head coach. He is going to be hired by the Atlanta Falcons. First take before we get into how this impacts the Rams defense. We'll have a lot of time to break down candidates, but I'm just happy for the guy. This is someone who screams head coach. This is someone who is waiting patiently for his opportunity, and I think goes to a great situation with the Atlanta Falcons. He had coached there formerly, didn't lose his job there, right? And wins the Super Bowl with the Rams in 2021. He did a lot of really interesting things with his defense. Kudos to what he did with this young, inexperienced group in 2023, and I'm just happy for Raheem to get this opportunity.
I think there's a lesson in here, not to get too, meta about the whole thing. Don't burn bridges, man. You never know when it's going to come back around again, right? He was the interim coach of the Atlanta Falcons not that long ago. He did not get the full-time job after he replaced Dan Quinn in the short period of time, but he obviously made an incredible impression on the people while he was there. And then when the opportunity came back around again, Arthur Blank and the Falcons decided that he was the right guy. I couldn't agree with you more, D-Mac. Raheem Morris, it's funny, I was talking with somebody who works for the Rams today, as a matter of fact, and this was before Raheem Morris had officially been hired by the Atlanta Falcons, and they told me that Raheem Morris, there's not one person in the Rams building that doesn't love that man, that isn't an incredible fan of his. And I know they're sorry to see him go because he's such a good coach, but I know that they're incredibly happy for him to get this next opportunity in Atlanta. So it's bad news from the Rams from a football perspective because I think he's a really good defensive coordinator, but I'm really happy for the guy that he gets an opportunity to go run his own shop for the second time.
Yeah, and Travis, full disclosure here, I was trying to go reverse LeVar Ball on this one and manifest it the other way. That's why I was saying I didn't think he was going to get a coaching job because I was selfishly trying to keep him as the defensive coordinator for the Rams because of how the success that he's had. But not just that. This is someone that Sean McVay respects. This is a personality that's a winning personality. He's going to go right into Atlanta, and you're talking about changing the culture overnight. Some guys are just born to be head coaches. Some guys just have that magnetic personality. He has that in spades, and I love what you said about there's not one person in that building that doesn't love Raheem Morris. I love how not just his former players, but I would say other than Aaron Donald, his most talented defensive player goes right to the X and tweets out, Falcons got one of, if not the best coach in the NFL for real. Ernest Jones tweeted, Falcons got a great one. So it's great to see the outpouring of love and appreciation for Raheem.
You know that he's just a good dude, right? That when you see the guys, go to tell everybody how happy they are for him. Think about all the coaches that change teams, right? This is the NFL. Guys move around like crazy. If you last 5 years in one spot, you've done a great job. And not everybody gets that send off. Not everybody has the general manager of the team, the head coach of their team, opening up press conferences saying, hey, real quick, before we talk about my team, let me tell you about my coach and why he deserves an opportunity to go somewhere else. And that's what both Les Snead and Sean McVay did with Raheem Morris. And I know that they're thrilled for him to land in Atlanta as well.
Absolutely. And it just makes your organization look good, right? It makes it seem like you guys are picking the right coaches that are getting hired as NFL head coaches. And you're going to start that pipeline, like another opportunity to fill in that spot. And as it pertains to the Rams fan, just really the biggest things you need to know are that, one, you got to fill that position. So that's definitely a massive, massive hire heading into a season where you're right back to thinking that you're Super Bowl contenders. The chips could be all in once again. So it's going to be a massive hire for Sean McVay. And two, I love me some comp picks. And the Rams are gonna get 2 compensation picks, 2 third-round picks, one in 2024, one in 2025, and of course they also got one back when Brad Holmes was hired by the Lions as the new general manager in 2021. So they know what to do with these comp picks for the most part, and it's nice to see this Rams team get more draft capital considering how good they've been with these picks last year.
Yeah, it's like we talked about before, that the more picks that come in, the more chances you have to land on a really good player in a spot that maybe you can take some chances, right? The deeper into the draft, the more wild cards that you can pick, the more creative that maybe you can get with one of these picks, and especially if you have a lot of them, and this gives them a lot of flexibility. I think that obviously, next week we'll spend some time talking about some candidates more specifically, but I know I've mentioned this before. The everydayers will remember this. I think one of the things that is Sean McVay's hidden superpower is his ability to hire the right assistant coaches, that because he is so secure in his own role, because he believes in what it is that he does, he's not one of these guys that's afraid to hire somebody that may end up as a head coach or may end up taking over for him. That was always one of the rubs with Jeff Fisher, is he didn't want to hire anybody that could step in and take his spot if it went bad. Sean McVay doesn't have that. Sean McVay is just, got a guy that everybody that comes within his orbit gets a head coaching job, it seems like. And he's going to go find another good one. If Sean McVay thinks you're a good coach, it's because you probably are. It's not just that Sean McVay turns people into good coaches. He knows how to identify them. And whoever gets that chair next is going to have an opportunity to prove them right again.
Absolutely. We'll have a chance to go in depth on this, but you bring up the fact that you are going to make some changes. And that to me is what's so fascinating about this, because we saw when Sean McVay went from Wade Phillips and you moved on from Wade Phillips, you go to Brandon Staley, right?
Yep.
You change your scheme. Then at the time, that felt like it was a new-ish scheme, the Vic Fangio style, bringing that to the Rams, going for a 3-4. Now, does he change again, or does he go out there and bring guys that can use that system? You go out there, have some internal options. You could go Aubrey Pleasant. I mean, he's someone that could get an opportunity too. Eljair Evaro from the Panthers, high on him. Joe Barry. So there's guys out there where you could go with the same type of scheme, or you could use this as an opportunity to say, you know what? Maybe we want to zig again. Maybe we want to go ultra aggressive and create turnovers and create pressure and do things that even when this Rams defense was steady last season, they weren't able to do. Do you go out there and get a Wink Martindale, a Joe Cullens, guys like that? Or do you go really out of the box and really try to change things up? Go out there, try to get Chris Hewitt and some of these Ravens guys, Anthony Weaver, and start playing their style of defense that seems like it's the new trend in the NFL.
Go find the best guy. And I think that's why Sean McVay is so good at what he does. For what you just laid out, Doug, he went and found an incredibly experienced, knowledgeable, dyed-in-the-wool lifer in Wade Phillips to run his defense. And the very next guy was a guy that had been in the NFL for 8 seconds in Brandon Staley. He finds the best guy. He doesn't have a type. He doesn't have somebody that needs to check this box because he only likes to do it one way. He goes and finds the right guy for the job at the right time, based on the personnel that they have, based on the personnel that maybe they think they might develop into, on the coach, on the fit, and everything else. And I know I'm repeating myself here a little bit, but in Sean McVay, I trust. If he likes it, I love it. So whatever they decide to go do, I'm on board.
Trust those instincts, because those instincts have steered him right almost every single time. I will say before we end this, I am kind of leaning towards, I kind of like the idea of a changeup. I mean, it's one of those Ravens guys, Denard Wilson. I mean, go to college ranks. Jesse Minter, is he going to be available? So I'm really excited about this, but I do want to say one thing before we wrap this up, Travis. I see people on Twitter saying Bill Belichick as a defensive coordinator, Mike Vrabel as a defensive coordinator. That ain't happen, okay? Tom Cruise is not doing a made-for-TV Hallmark movie, right? Okay? Movie stars don't do TV mostly. I just don't think that's an option.
No, those guys are not going to be coordinating the Rams defense. I feel pretty confident. But look, I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to be wrong about that.
Give me the hoodie.
I don't think so. Bill Belichick is going to wait until he gets the opportunity that he thinks is best for him. Mike Vrabel's going to have plenty of opportunities to be head coach for a year. If he wanted to go do TV, if he wanted to go sit on a beach somewhere, if he wanted to go do whatever he wants to recharge his batteries for a period of time, there's going to be a head coaching opportunities available for him left and right when he decides that's what he wants to do next. I don't think either one of those guys are going to go coordinate.
They will not. So let's not. That's a pipe dream right there. But congratulations to Raheem Morris. lots to discuss on this on Monday's show. Tomorrow, we already have an episode recorded, so you guys will enjoy that one. But we'll talk about this on Monday. And look, congratulations, well deserved. We'll see what this means for even the current Rams staff too. I mean, there's already a rumor out there that quarterbacks coach Zach Robinson is a strong candidate for offensive coordinator. So McVay talked a lot about that continuity. Things are going to get shaken up, it seems like, out of necessity. But I'm here for it because, hey, like you said it best. Sean McVay knows what he's doing when it comes to assembling the staff. And congratulations to Raheem Morris. Let's get the next guy who's going to be a head coach because of the job that he did for this organization. But that's going to do it for this episode, this emergency breaking news episode of Locked On Rams. So thank you guys for tuning in. And if you haven't yet, by the way, subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Drop your comments down below. What is your reaction to Raheem Morris getting named the head coach for the Atlanta Falcons? And also, who do you want to see the Rams hire as their next DC? My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And as always, the People's Champ, Mr. Travis Rogers. You can follow him on X at Travis Rogers, rocking the sweet SB hat like the lid right there. So you guys, go Gauchos, baby. Argentine cowboy all day. But that's going to do it, guys. Until next time, whose house? It's Locked On Rams house.